I'd like to do is tell you how to submit a second ESB on a baby after you've already admitted the baby or already done that day's billing, and something has happened to the child that requires, let's say, more intervention and therefore a higher billing code. So here we have baby boy test Dan, and he was admitted on 5/4 with a low initial. And let's say that he went into the NICU, and later on that night he required intubation. Okay, so how would you document that? Well, let's open up Dan's chart. Okay, so it happened on 5/4, so I will make a custom encounter for 5/4. Okay, and he was admitted at 11:49. Now at 8 o'clock at night, he's going to have a problem. So what you have to do is you have the encounter. You want to go to the master. Okay, and what you would do is do an interval note and state, do your physical, put a new problem in. Let's say the child went into respiratory failure and you had to intubate. You would have to put in the procedures that you did, the intubation right here. Okay, and you'd have to fill that out. And I think that I've already shown you how to do procedures, but just as a refresher, let's go here. Remember, the procedure was completed by on-site, and we did it for mechanical ventilation. I communicated with him before and after. He got a 3/5. Okay, and it was not cut. Okay, and it was a 3/5 uncut. Now performed at 2000, and it was intubated at the 9 cm. Let's say it was 3 kilos, 9 cm mark. Okay, and there were no complications. We did our chest x-ray, and the tube is at 1 centimeter above the carina. Of course, this baby has no troubles. Intubated, pain management was fair. Now remember, you have to go and you have to highlight it and save it like that. Okay, so now our procedure's done. Again, you want to put your problem here. Was probably respiratory, and don't forget again to put in all this information here when you do respiratory support. He's going to be on a ventilator, and he's going to be on SIMV, and we're going to give him a rate of 20 and pressures of 18/5. 18/5. And you can also use these things here, but I use the keyboard. And we started it. What day did we start it? We started it today, which was on 5/4. Okay, and remember, you have to save this, and remember, you have to highlight it and add it over here so that it's in your event history. You go over here, you write in XYZ, and if you're making the kid critical, which was probably this kid will be critical, you do this. Okay, and you write whatever you have to hear. He started on the 4th, and he's in respiratory distress. He has TTN, and then you put in your plan, etc. Respiratory support is needed as tolerated. Okay, so now you do your physical, also doing your respiratory part here. XYZ. Okay, and now you create your note. It's be an interval note. Okay, and I just want to let you know that I did this so that you could see what comes up. My intubation came up, my procedure came up, the respiratory support came up here because I filled out that respiratory support section, and etc., etc. And realize that since I'm doing this I'm writing it on the 11th of June for the 4th, even though it's for the 4th, it is transparent here. The note was written by me on the 11th. Okay. Now let's go back into the ESB. Okay. And here you have to put your TTN and this referring physician is required. And we're going to give it here. And it says I've already submitted something, but guess what? He got sicker and I had to do a lot of things to him, and it's okay to submit. I need to change the initial code. All right. All right. So now I go down here. I have my TTN. Since I did intubate the child, I have to, it's on a ventilator, management first day, and intubation, just like that. I submit it. And I want you to see down here that I do have two ESBs. I do have two bills for the 4th. One is my critical services down here, and another is for a low initial. When I see that, when I review, what I do is I read your interval note and I read the other note, and I say, okay, kid got sicker. He had to upcode the baby to a higher level. And trust me, you can even put in another ESB if you think, let's say that you only went up to a 99477 and then he went up to be critical. You can put in as many ESBs as you want during any given day. They just have to be in different encounters. You can't change the ESB once you submit it. So once I submit this here, the only thing that I can do to change it would be a status change. I can put in a status change for a baby. Now, I'm going to show you what to do in a different situation. I'm going to use the same baby on, let's say this baby had to be transferred out the next day, but I'll put that into transferred out that night. I'll put that into a different video. So this has been a video on how to submit a second ESB on a baby who got sicker. Hope it's been helpful.